All right, so let's go to the big feature here, which is the yoke.
So the Plaid Refresh has a yoke of a steering wheel. And you might be saying, well, that's wild, but hold your horses because there's also no stalks.
Yeah, as Holmar's catalog said, no gear shifter, no turn signals, no problem.
Elon said, no more stocks. Car guesses drive direction based on what obstacles it sees, context and nav map. You can override on touchscreen.
Hang on.
Yeah.
What do you... Wait, what? The car guesses? I think you'd like to go forward. What are you talking about?
Maybe forwards, maybe backwards. I mean, it's good that you only have two options, really. There's no sideways and diagonal ways, and this isn't, the great glass elevator.
Yep, but there's also neutral, and there's park.
Yeah, I guess you choose that from the thing. Well, I mean,
from the thing?
Well, here's the thing with park, right? Your car right now, if you pull up to somewhere and you're stopped,
yeah,
you just unbuckle, open the door, and it'll park for you.
Yeah. No, I get that. But, I mean, as much as I believe in self-driving cars and everything, I think there's times when you're doing weird things in your driveway where you're like, okay, I'm going to do like a 9-point turn. And how's the car supposed to know what you want to do?
Well, you hold your foot on the brake, and if it sees there's something behind you, it'll switch to drive, and if there's something in front of you, it'll switch to reverse.
So according to Electrek, they say they've obtained some internal Tesla documents, and it says the vehicle uses its autopilot sensors to intelligently and automatically determine intended drive modes and select them. For example, if the front of the Model S or X is facing a garage wall, it will detect this and automatically shift to reverse once the driver presses the brake pedal. This eliminates one more step for the drivers of the world's most intelligent production cars.
So, I mean, if you ask me, I think it's a feature that no one was asking for, but you got to think, Ford said that if he asked people what they wanted, they would have wanted a faster horse. So maybe this is a step in the right direction. I don't know. But here's the other question. You got this yoke steering wheel, and forget the stocks for a minute. What about U-turns, I think, is the question for most people.
Because you have to turn the wheel like a lot.
Most cars have a lock-to-lock steering of about like 2.5 turns or so.
Wait, so you mean the wheel goes far left to far right, and it takes 2.5 turns to get the wheel to do that?
Right. Now, the Model S has a 2.5 lock-to-lock turn, and it has a steering ratio of 13:1.
So for every 13 degrees I move the steering wheel, the wheels turn 1 degree.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
wait, so what's the yoke going to do?
Well, we don't know, but it could do a number of different things. You see, in a race car, you have yokes. So let's talk about race cars for a second. Race cars are different than normal cars. Obviously, they're faster, but also a lot of them have yokes as opposed to steering wheels. And one of the things that this means is that the steering ratio is a lot lower, meaning that for a small movement of the wheel, you get a larger turn of the wheels of the car. Now, is the Model S going to have racing steering? Maybe it could be an option. Maybe you can have a variable steering ratio, something that none of the Teslas have had up to this point. But I would like to talk about like the Model 3. It has a smaller lock-to-lock, only 2 turns, and its steering ratio is 10.3:1, which means that for a smaller movement of the wheel, you get a bigger turning, which makes it feel faster.
But hang on. I mean, with the yoke, we're going to have basically a this to this lock, which is way less than 2 turns or 2.5 turns. So aren't drivers going to get in this car and just like crash it because they're not going to know how to drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's where the questions come in, because even on a race car where it's tighter, depending on the racetrack, they customize it to say, okay, well, in turn 5, it's going to be a very tight turn. We need to either adjust the steering ratio or allow a more lock to lock, so that way the race car driver can actually make the turn around that corner. But on other less, zigzaggy courses, it might be that you don't have that, which means that the car's turning radius would be much wider because basically they wouldn't expect to corner that tightly.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching Now You Know Clips.
You can watch full episodes of Tesla Time News on Mondays and in-depths on Fridays. Just click the link down below to head over to the Now You Know channel.